My thighs are finally, like, they're not as jiggly as they used to be. Like, I can just feel it's just so toned and tight and awesome. I don't know if any of you watch Love is Blind. I love Love is Blind. It's like my favorite show. And when they're in the pods, there's this guy talking about how he loves pizza, and she's talking about how she loves pizza, and they're never going to have those fitness model bodies. Like in the commercials of like the Calvin Klein guys, he was talking about how it's just not realistic to look like that. It is. Hey everybody, happy Friday. I hope everybody has some awesome weekend plans. I know I have a lot on my to-do list. So for this video, it's going to be my fitness journey. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why I started to get into fitness, how I started to get into fitness, my progress, and my top 5 tips on how you can start. So why I decided to get into fitness. After I had Lula, she's going to be 4 in May. I can't believe it. My little Lula Bean is going to be 4. She's getting so big, you guys. She's getting so tall. And she's a handful. She's definitely my daughter. But anyways, after I had her, I weighed 180 pounds. And I was watching videos the other day on my YouTube channel of her birthday. And just looking at me, I was just like, whoa. Like, I don't even recognize myself. Like, I was looking in the camera, I was like, that's me? Like, it doesn't even look like me. Like, and when I did weigh that much, I realized I was always tired. I was sad a lot. I felt anxious a lot. I got winded easily, like doing anything, like walking, especially going up like stairs or something. I got like really winded. And I was just very unhappy every time I would look in the mirror. Like, I would avoid looking in the mirror, especially if I was naked. And it was just the heaviest I've ever been in my life. Going into how I started, I did a bunch of research and I was trying to figure out, I was like, I didn't know how to figure out what was wrong with me myself. So I did some research on like dietitians and nutritionists, and so I went to see a dietitian. I'm actually going to leave her information up on the screen for you guys, so if you want to go see her, you can. I highly suggest her. She's wonderful. When I went to see her, she ran all these tests and found out that I had a high gluten intolerance, and I had no idea before going to see her. I loved my bread and pasta and all of that. Once I stopped eating gluten, I lost 50 pounds. I can't tell you the time frame it took, but I finally lost all of that baby weight / whatever that weight was after having Lula. I don't know if it was because she was my 3rd baby or because she was a girl, or I don't know what it was, but even after Cash, I didn't weigh as much as I did after I had Lula. And before I stopped eating gluten, I already had like a clean diet. Like, I knew general what's bad for you, what's good for you. Like, I tried eating healthy as best I could. And after I stopped eating gluten and continued to eat clean and healthy and wholesome foods, I noticed that my sadness and my body, because I was also getting body pains too. I forgot to tell you about that. I was also getting like body pain. Like, I was like, why am I always in pain? And so my pain went away, my sadness went away. I just started feeling so much better. Like, I was happier. I didn't have brain fog. I didn't always feel tired or winded. Like, I could breathe again. So after losing the 50 pounds, I got down to 130 pounds, which I had never been that weight even before having kids. Like, that is the smallest I have ever been. But I noticed that I had a lot of fat on my body, and so I started doing some more research and discovered that I needed to start exercising. Whether I wanted to or not, I needed to start exercising. And I knew the exercises I was doing before I did not like. So then I went down this rabbit hole of figuring out different exercises I could do. whenever I would tell someone the type of workouts I do, I didn't really know how to explain it. And the best word to use is calisthenic. Pilates is another good one. I do a lot of Pilates, yoga, and like cardio, but the cardio I do is like dancing. And I do all of this through an app that I found. And that is what I've been using this entire time. And after doing these type of workouts, I realized I didn't hate exercising. I just didn't like the type of exercises I was doing. I sincerely enjoy doing these workouts. Like, the dance ones are so much fun, and aside from the pain, so I found a type of exercise that I didn't completely hate. How I stuck with it, man, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you guys at all. It has been the most painful process. I'm like thinking back to when I first started, like I would be screaming, I would be crying, I would just not want to do it anymore because I just feel kind of defeated in a way because like I was so weak, and it was very discouraging. I found myself just dreading every single workout because it was so painful, and it just made me feel so bad about myself because I was so weak. And I decided, I don't know what made me think of it, but I'm a very organized person. I like things a certain way. Like, if it's aesthetically pleasing, it helps me. I don't know what it is. I joke around and say that I'm OCD, but I might actually be OCD. I don't know. So I decided to come up with a sticky note wall, and I actually did an Instagram reel on this, and I'll go ahead and put that up on the screen for you guys as well. If you want to go check that out, put the link. And I explain exactly how I did it in that reel, so I don't have to get into that. But I did that sticky note wall for 90 days because they say it takes 90 days to form a habit. Then after I did it consistently every day for 90 days, it just became part of my lifestyle. It was just part of who I was, and I enjoyed working out, and it just made me happier, and I had more energy, and I was noticing results, most importantly. And I started to feel stronger and stronger and stronger the more time that had went by. So it's just very important to just not think about the future too much and like your end goals. Just do what you can that day, in that moment. And even if you're tired, do it tired. If you're not doing the workout completely, like the person that's instructing, like, oh gosh, this girl, she's cray-cray. Okay, she's crazy. I still call her crazy, and I'm pretty strong at this point. I can't wait till the day that I get to her status. And thinking about being that way back when I first started would be absolutely insane, because you're different. You are who you are. You're starting from where you are. You have a different lifestyle than somebody else. So don't focus on doing it perfectly. That's the best way I can say it. Don't focus on doing the workout perfectly. Do what you can. Try your hardest. And if you're not doing it just the way the person in the video is doing it, it's okay. Like, you'll get there. You will. So just do what you can and be consistent. Be consistent. You have to be. And it's really hard. Everything in life, it's hard skill to be consistent with things, and you got to be determined to do it. You got to want it, because it's going to be hard. So going into my progress, up until a couple months ago, I just started plateauing, and I was just staying the same, even though I was doing all this work. I'm like, what is going on? And so I did some research, and it turns out that counting your macros is not bullshit. And it's, a lot of people think it is, and I thought it was, and I always told myself I'd never be one of those people who count their macros. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's your calories, your carbohydrates, your fats, and your protein. And I focus on my calories and my protein because I'm a beginner, and they say in the research I did to just focus on your calories and your protein in the beginning, and that's what I've been doing. So the first thing I did is I learned how to calculate what macros are for me. So that means how many calories you're supposed to be eating in a day, how many grams of protein, we'll just say grams of protein. I'm not going to get into the fats and carbohydrates. So I did calculate all of them, but I only focus on the 2. So I started with that. And then I looked for an app to track my macros because it was not easy. I'm going to put the app up here for you because it took me a very long time to find an app that wasn't trying to charge you a lot of money to use it. And I found this app, and I think I pay 99 cents a month or something. I can't remember. Then the next thing I did after the app is I came up with a meal plan and started meal prepping. So essentially I would put the meals into the app so I knew exactly how many calories and protein I was going to be getting. To this day, I'm still working out the tweaks in that. Like, there are a lot of days where I just do it as I go. What I would suggest that you do, like, figure out what you got in your house and think about what meal you want to eat, and then just log it in first before you eat it and make sure that it's the correct amount of everything that you need. And ever since I started tracking my macros, it's been a month, I have noticed muscle. I've noticed muscle on my body. I've noticed things tightening and toning and just doing what I want them to do. I found out that I was way under eating. And it's wild to think that you can stay the same weight and eat more just if you eat the right things. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you what my macros are. And you'll be like, what? You have to eat all that? So let's see here. Okay. So my daily calories that I'm supposed to be eating are 1,997, just shy of 2,000 calories. When I found that out, I was like, sweet. Now, I didn't undereat because of weight. I just am busy, and I would do things that I needed to get done instead of eat. And it has been challenging, you guys. It's been very challenging making time to eat. And then my carbohydrates, I have to have 250 grams per day. My protein, big one, 125 grams of protein a day is what I need to be eating. I was like, okay. And then fat, 55 grams. So I noticed that I'm always under in my carbohydrates and I'm always over in my fat. So I'm like, you know what? Just going to not pay attention to those. I'm just going to focus on my protein and my calories because those are the 2 most important things. So I hear. So, yeah, after I started tracking the macros, I noticed little things. Like in my thighs, like I could see like definition and like muscles on the top of my thigh. And I felt stronger, like with everything I did. Picking up the babies, more flexible now. I just feel strong and I feel good and I feel happy. I work out 5 days a week. And instead of like in the app, she suggests certain days to have as your rest days. I did that for a while, but then I noticed it started not working for me, and I would be beating myself up if I missed, like, if I didn't work out 5 days a week and I worked out 4. So instead of following her recommendation, I would just week to week, I would adjust what days would be my rest days and what days would be my workout days. So that's a huge thing. Just adjust it to your lifestyle. Just as long as you're working out 5 days and having 2 rest days, do whatever days work for your schedule. And then if you're sick or if you feel like you're getting sick, don't do the workout. It's okay to miss a couple days. For instance, this week, I felt like I was getting a cyst again because I was getting all the same symptoms that I had from the cyst that I got, only this time it didn't burst because I recognized the symptoms. Last time I didn't, but aside from that, I just took it easy. I didn't lift anything. I didn't lift the babies. I didn't do my workout. So I have rested so far 3 days instead of 2. So this week I only work out 4 days. But it's okay. You have to give yourself that grace. Like, don't give up just because you didn't do 5 days that week. And that's something way back in the beginning I used to do. I'd be like, oh, I missed this many days. I might as well stop now. No. Just do better next week. Another thing you can do is you can change up the workouts you're doing to fit like how you're feeling. So for me, when I had those cramps, I did take the day that it was really crampy. I just took the day. But the next day I was still kind of feeling like, ooh, it might not be a good idea. So instead of doing anything lower body, I did upper body. I did my shoulders and my arms. And I was really sore and weak during it, and I wasn't doing it to my full capacity, but at least I was doing something. I was moving my body. And I know you hear that a lot from everybody, just move your body, do it, and it sounds like yeah, but I'm telling you, something is better than nothing. It really is. Even if you have like these high goals and expectations for yourself, just give yourself grace. Just really, really try and do that. Yeah, I wanted to show you guys my progress. I wanted to show you these pictures and videos I'm about to share with you. This is extremely hard for me to share, but I want to help other women, so I'm going to share them. I put a video and some pictures up on the screen here of what I looked like when I was 180 pounds, and then I'm going to go ahead and get up here and show you my progress so far, so that you can see that you can get to where you want to be. You really can. So, okay, so this is what I look like now compared to those videos and photos. And some of the differences that I've noticed are right here in my upper abs. Like, I have definition, I have muscle now. Ooh, you can see it. Like, I don't have as much. Like, you can see that I still have some, but oh my gosh, it was so bad before. Ooh, I haven't flexed in a while. So the arms, I used to have a really bad problem with, ooh, it's barely shaking. Look at that. Like, with my arm fat, like right here was like a big problem for me. Like, ooh, you hear that crack? So you can see a little bit of jiggle, but barely. It used to be so bad. I used to have such big arms. Like, that was one of my biggest insecurities was my arms. And then my thighs were one of my other ones. So now when I stand up, my thighs don't touch. They don't touch. These leggings are really see-through. I'm like, probably should have wore a different pair of leggings. But you can see more of my body this way without me having to be half naked. So yeah, like, my thighs are finally, like, they're not as jiggly as they used to be. Like, I can just feel it's just so toned and tight and awesome. Definitely not where I want to be, but like I said, it takes 6 to 8 months. So I'm just being consistent, and I'm just can't wait to get there. So now let's get into my top 5 tips for how you can do it too. How you can get started from wherever you are, whatever weight you are, whatever's going on in your life, wherever you are mentally. These are my top 5 tips on how you can do it too. Tip number 1, see a dietitian and find out what food intolerances you have, if you have any. Number 2, find a workout app that schedules your workouts for you, like meaning what exercises you should be doing, so you don't even have to think about it. I don't have to think about what exercise I do. I just pull up that app. She says I'm doing this. Let's go, girl. Let's get it. I'm doing this. Tip number 3, make that 90-day sticky note wall. Tip number 4, if you do have any food intolerances, stop eating them. I know it's going to be hard. You know how hard it is not to eat gluten? There's gluten everywhere. They put gluten in things that shouldn't have gluten. And gluten is literally, you guys, it's an artificial ingredient. It has no nutritional benefit to us whatsoever. And it's just so sad how much stuff has gluten. How much pasta we eat, how much bread we eat, and it, like, just how it's everywhere. Sandwiches, wraps, like, it's so hard. But you can do it. You can. So whatever intolerances you have, just stop. No more. And that'll help you out hugely. And then clean up your diet. No processed foods. Less noodles, less breads. Because even if you don't have an intolerance, you still don't want to be eating a ton of that. Because it's just carbohydrates. And carbohydrates literally do nothing for you. They don't. Like they say they give you energy, but you can get energy from fats as well. Good fats. Like bacon. Bacon has fat in it. That's a good fat. Noticed that the other day when I was plugging in, whenever I would eat bacon, I'm like, it keeps putting my fat content over. Why? But it's okay. Just focus on your calories and your protein. And actually, if it helps you, I wanted to share it. I'm going to put it up on the screen here. I have a list of foods that I do not eat, that I completely avoid. And the reasons why I avoid them. And lastly, tip number 5, track your macros. Get an app like we talked about earlier. Take progress photos. So when you first start tracking your macros, you're going to want to take a forward-facing photo, a side-facing photo, and a back-facing photo in a bathing suit or a bra and underwear. And then 6 to 8 weeks later, you're going to want to take those pictures again in the same exact outfit that you were wearing, in the same exact positions. And you'll also want to weigh yourself and measure. You want to measure, what was it? I'm still new to this too. So let's see here. Here's my body stats. So you'll want to take your photos front, side, and back. Then you want to put your height. I'm 5'3". Your weight. I'm 130 pounds. Which I actually weighed myself today after a month of tracking my macros, and I'm now 129.7. Yeah, 0.7 pounds. So crazy. I'm eating more food, and I lost a pound. Because I was 130.7 pounds, now I'm 129.7 pounds. You gotta put the point in there, right? I don't know. Waist, mine's at 28 inches. Hips, mine are 39.5. Chest, 31. And upper quads are 22 for me. I've always been very insecure about my thighs, but as long as I can put muscle on them and tighten them up, I'll be good. It's okay if they're bigger, as long as they're not jiggly. So yeah, you'll want to get those, and I actually put it right here in my notepad that I was telling you guys about, and I labeled it Original Body Stats, and it's in my fitness folder. It's a note within my fitness folder on my notes app. And I guess this is tip number 6 in a way, but just be consistent. Be consistent with both of them. Tracking your macros, eating good foods. You don't have to read ingredients and everything like I do, although I wish people had knowledge on that, but that's what I'm here for. I'm going to be a dietitian. I feel like I have a lot of knowledge now, but I want all of the knowledge, because knowledge is power. Educate yourself, you know? But just be consistent. Be consistent with tracking your food, eating good, and working out. As long as you're doing that, you will see results. And what did I put my goal as? I think I want to see my dream body by, I think it's August. I had a lot of girls asking me like how I started, like what I did, because it just like I talked about in my other video, it just seems like being able to achieve these things. I don't know if any of you watch Love is Blind. I love Love is Blind. It's like my favorite show. One of my favorite shows. And when they're in the pods, there's this guy talking about how he loves pizza, and she's talking about how she loves pizza, and they're never going to have those fitness model bodies. Like in the commercials of like the Calvin Klein guys, he was talking about how it's just not realistic to look like that. It is. It is. I started talking to the TV. I was like, shut up. Don't be telling the world these things. It is. You just have to have determination, dedication, consistency, the will, the strength. You know, it's all about mindset. It's all about mindset. And regardless of what someone physically looks like, it's just good for your overall health and your happiness and your mental health. Like, to eat the right things. And I also once upon a time thought the same thing, like this is unrealistic, but it's really not. It's just really, really hard. It's really hard, you guys, to not eat the things, all the things that are so tempting. I'm a sucker for brownies. Oh, I love brownies. So, a couple things that could help you with like cravings like that I do. Smoothie. And I'm talking about make a good smoothie. There's so many disgusting smoothies out there. Make a good smoothie. A smoothie that I make and have been making recently. I have a couple of them, but it tastes like strawberry cheesecake. Okay, so I will, if I'm having a craving like that. Oh, and coffee. Anytime I get a sweet tooth, coffee, where are you? Coffee, coffee, coffee. Without all the sugars and shit. I mean, I do use creamer. I will, so there's little things like that. Like, I'm not completely good with every single little thing. Like, I drink regular coffee creamer. Like, I've tried to find clean coffee creamers. I haven't found a good one. I'm not going to sacrifice having that enjoyable cup of coffee because of the creamer. It's 2 tablespoons per cup. That's the serving size. And a lot of the times I'm struggling with my calories anyways. Like, I can't get to as many calories as they want because I eat so good. So it's hard to get to those calories. So little things like that. So the calories from the creamer, it's going to be okay because I need them anyways. So little things like that, it's okay. So coffee, smoothies, or protein balls. They taste just like cake, cookies. You can make so many delicious protein balls that have nothing bad in them, and they have all the protein and the benefits for you. So those are just some things that I do to help with those days when I want to eat a brownie. Oh, and just don't put it in your house. Just don't have it in your house. If you have kids, you know what? Your kids should be eating healthy too. Don't have it in your house. Don't even let your kids have it. If your kids have it, get it for them once in a while, and then just have that willpower to not eat it. Just remember your goal. Remember what you're doing, and eating that brownie, it's going to minimize all that work you did in that workout that was so hard, where you were crying and in pain. Eating that one brownie is going to take away from that workout. So yeah, that is going to be it for the video. I really, really hope that this helps even one person. But to my girlies that have been asking me for it, and to my son's godmother who asked me about it, and I was like, you know what? It was perfect timing. She asked me about it yesterday. It was crazy, like the way the universe works. She Snapchatted me yesterday asking me how I do it, how I stay consistent. And I was like, girl, I'm filming a video tomorrow. I said, so stay tuned. So I hope this helped you, girly. And yeah, I hope everybody has an awesome rest of their day. And I will see you guys in my next video.